Checkout shares of Johnson & Johnson falling today on concerns over its COVID-19 vaccine. Here's what we know at this hour. The FDA and CDC recommending a temporary pause in the J&J vaccine out of an abundance of caution after 6 women in the U.S. developed a rare blood clotting disorder that left 1 woman dead and another in critical condition. Nearly 7 million doses have been administered here in the U.S. The other COVID vaccine makers rallying on the back of the story: Moderna, BioNTech, and Pfizer all higher on the day. Moderna, the big winner, though, adding $4.1 billion to its market cap today alone. So we ask, is the move warranted? Let's bring in an analyst who covers the name. Hartaj Singh, a senior biotech analyst at Oppenheimer, former strategic analysis manager for Johnson & Johnson. Hartaj, great to have you with us. You think that Moderna should have gained even more. Why is that?
Yeah, thank you, Melissa, for having me. Look, it's very simple. The product profile of the vaccines are very important. You look at flu vaccines, the most expensive vaccine on the market is $75. The cheapest one is $15. The risk-benefit profile, the ability to be, deployed in a dependable manner, all of these things matter. We've been highlighting as early as October of last year that Moderna's mRNA vaccines has the best product profile of all the vaccines in the COVID-19 group. And that is now clearly starting to show up more and more, which is why we think that the stock has quite a ways to run as people start realizing what that means to the business.
So in terms of your sort of calculating on the back of an envelope, a $4 billion gain to Moderna should be even greater. Can you do the math is it just if we took 9 million Johnson & Johnson vaccine times it by 2 because there's 2 Moderna doses and you added that to Moderna's? Is that part of the calculation? Is it that it's going to gain market share even over Pfizer because of its safety profile? And now this latest data that even after 6 months, it's more than 90% effective still?
Yeah, no, it's a really good question, right? So I don't think it's necessarily, I think that is part of the equation, Melissa. I think what is more important is that, part of what I would call, the reason to not own Moderna, or maybe a bear thesis, was that, J&J and AstraZeneca would put downward pressure on the pricing of Moderna's vaccines, which are still among the most expensive in the pandemic setting, and then would take market share. So AstraZeneca probably might not be approved in the United States, according to Dr. Fauci. J&J now is having some issues. It's an older platform technology. So it's really not so much about the 9 million doses. It's more so that downward pressure that analysts probably saw in the future is now going to start going away. Even in our model, for example, if Moderna does 1 billion doses of vaccine next year, at $20, per course, you can do the math. It's a $15-20 billion business for a couple of years at the very least.
All right, Hartaj, we got to leave it there. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Great. Thank you.
All right, I think that's really interesting, the downward pressure that the bears had for Moderna. All of a sudden that goes away, and that's really good for Moderna and probably for Pfizer too, which we also saw rise in today's session, Guy.
Yeah, a lot of people out there think that Moderna could, not put these companies out of business, but put their vaccine businesses out of business based on what they've done. And unfortunately, I think we all realize, what we've lived through, there's going to be more of these type of events, hopefully not as severe, but Moderna is poised to take over. And I was surprised it didn't trade higher either. I think it does continue to go higher from here. I've been wrong about the stock a number of times, but Karen said it many months ago. Out of all these people in this game, Moderna was best suited to take advantage of it, and I stand by that today.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.